It can happen to everyone, a server crash, an accidental delete or a bad update. Any of these can wipe out your N8N workflows in a second. And if you haven't taken any backups, they are gone forever. I've learned it the hard way. A few weeks ago, I've lost an entire automation I have been working on for more than 8 hours and gone forever, like this. And I never wanted it to happen again, so I searched a way to back up my workflows so it won't happen again. And in this video, I will show you how you can back up your N8N workflows to GitHub and to Google Drive. So you will never have to rebuild or build a workflow from scratch again. And now let's start building. This is the workflow we will be using to back up our N8N workflows. I make it a bit larger so it's easier to follow. We start with a scheduled trigger node. Mine is scheduled every morning at 6 o'clock to take backups. The next node is an N8N node. Maybe some of you don't know this node exists, but let's see what it does. N8N. So with this node, you can audit actions, create credentials, execute actions, get actions. And for this workflow, we did choose get many workflows. So what it does is it takes all the workflows and put them in a JSON file. So the complete workflow, it takes all the nodes, everything, and it puts them in a JSON file. Let me show what it looks like. So it looks a bit like this. So created that, updated that, the ID of the workflow, that is the last part of this URL. If it is active or not, the name of it, and all you can imagine is put in that JSON file. For administrative reasons, I've also have an Excel file which contains the title of the workflow, the tag of the workflow, when it is created, when it is modified, and the URLs to the N8N workflow, the help, GitHub, and Google Drive. So now get back to our workflow. So we loop over every entry from the output from the N8N node. Between the loop and the next node, I have a wait function, because if I haven't put it there, I often get rate limits from Google Sheets. So that's why the wait function is there. Then we have the get rows in sheet. In this Google Sheet node, we check if there is a row with the same name as the N8N workflow. And if there is, we know a backup already exists, and we go to the upper flow, so this part. If there is no match, it means that it is a new workflow, so a new backup has to be saved, which happens in the lower part. So now let's create a new workflow and take a backup of it. So we're gonna make it a very easy workflow, trigger manually, and then the next node will be just an edit node and test. I'm gonna give this a name. This is a trial, and always give a tag to my workflow. So this one will be private. It is saved. And now we go back to our backup workflow and execute. It can take a few seconds. So now it has reached the lower part and it has taken a backup. So let's check our Google Sheets. We go. This is a trial. So this is the date of today. Let's check on Google Drive. This is a trial. If we open it, we see that this is the workflow we have created. So let's close this one. And now get a bit deeper into the explanation, so I make it a bit larger. So the first node in the lower part is again an N8N node. Operation get, so it gets the workflow with the given name. But why do I do it like this? If I take the JSON file from the first N8N node, so the get many, I have noticed it gives, or sometimes gives personal data, and sometimes it also adds credentials, and I don't want it. So that's why I do it like this step. So only get the workflow itself. And so you will see there are no credentials inside. The next block is a code block for the GitHub and for the Google Drive. Why a code block? First of all, GitHub and Google Drive only accepts binary files. And this code block converts the incoming JSON from the N8N node into, let's say, a binary JSON file. I've tried it with convert to JSON, but it works, it saves it, but then when I import it, it says it's not a valid binary file, or not a valid JSON file. So I do it like this. So then after this code, what does it do? It just creates a binary file from the JSON file. It's just a little script, nothing more, nothing less. The next is we create the GitHub file. So we give in the repository owner, the repository name, the file path, and the input is the data, so the binary JSON file. The same for upload to Google Drive. We upload it, we give it the data and where it has to go. Okay, next up, they put them all together. And then I put it in Google Sheets. I put the title, the tag, and the date it was created, when it was modified, N8N URL, GitHub, blah, 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 blah. Why do I put these steps here? Just administrative. You don't have to, but for me it's easier, so I know where all the variables are stored, so that's why I use it. And now if we make it a bit smaller again, after saving to the Google Sheets, it goes here again. There is no use. I just put it here because it looks better, otherwise it all has to go back to here, and now it goes from here to here. So after saving to Google Sheets, we run through, or we go to the next one in the list. Okay, now let's see what happens if we change something. We add a new edit, just like this, doesn't need to be difficult. And we save it. And now we run this workflow again. And now you have seen it has taken the upper part, so let's check that one. As said before, if there is an update to a workflow, it takes the upper part. So here it checks if a file has been updated or not. So it exists. If it has been updated, it follows the lower part. If there is no update, it goes up. So first thing we do is we delete the file on Google Drive. I've tried with updating a file, but it was so difficult and it continuously was giving errors. And again, we take the get N8N workflow node for the same reason as for the new file, and again the same code blocks. Then GitHub, it's easy to edit a file, so to update a file. And here we do a bit exactly the same as in the lower part. We save the file to Google Docs. And then, well, here I put a wait, but that's not needed. And then it updates Google Sheet. And then it go back to the next one in the row. Okay, you have seen it works fine. Now let's try to restore a backup. So we go back to our workflow we've created. Let's say we're gonna delete this. This is the way I lost 8 hours of work a few weeks ago. I had a gigantic workflow I had been working on for hours and hours and hours, and I was trying to optimize it. So I deleted a part of it, I clicked save, and then a bit further it was, no, it doesn't work like that. And then I wanted to go back and I couldn't. So it was, I lost 8 hours of work. So yeah, now let's restore a backup. Here in the top right corner, you can click on those 3 buttons. Wait, we have to restore this as a trial. So we go back to our Google Sheet. We open it, download this one. So JSON file is downloaded. Now we go back to the place where we want to restore it. In the top right, you click on import from a file. And you select the file you just downloaded. So, and there it is again. So now you know how to backup files. You know how to restore files. So you're safe now, nothing can happen. And if you like this video, give it a like and please subscribe. Tomorrow and in a few days I will come with a new video, so stay tuned, have fun and enjoy building. Bye!